$285. Can you believe we've been doing this for 285 episodes? Another wrestling podcast. I'm Corino.
I'm JB, and we have to have a talk.
Yes.
I don't want to be this guy, but...
Who did I invite in?
Yeah.
We have another surprise. Paige Mackenzie is joining us. Paige, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's another wrestling podcast, but not another Paige Mackenzie. So it's Paige. Let everybody maybe give us an introduction. Tell us who you are, because we know you from ACW, so maybe you can get into that. But Paige Mackenzie, tell us about you.
Hello, I am Paige Mackenzie, as you said. I am the official backstage correspondent for ACW. I have been there since our very first show in January, and I am loving it. I also jump in on commentary when they need me, maybe some ring announcing if they need it, and I've been raffling off our belts. I'm kind of the Jill of all trades, as our good friend Dave Sturchu called me.
No, perfect. Awesome. We're happy to have you here today. There's a lot to talk about. I know we're almost on summer break. We're going away next week. It's summer vacation, guys. Give us a break, right?
Let's be clear. You're going one place. I'm going another. We are not going together.
That is true. We're not going together on vacation. I am going separate with my family. Going separate with yours.
Sure.
So yes,
sure.
People are going to start talking now, and now I let the whole thing out of the bag. But no. But before summer break, there's a lot going on. I think the biggest thing we can get right into before anything else. But Paige, thanks for joining us. Let's talk about some of the biggest news out there is Hulk Hogan, the passing of the immortal Hulk Hogan, the man who kind of started it all for everybody, right? If there is no Hulk Hogan, is it fair to say that there is no pro wrestling like it is today, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that what wrestling is today was kind of built on the back of Hulk Hogan. And, you know, we see that with some of the people, your John Cena's, Cody Rhodes, all that stuff, the era of like a showman, like somebody who's not just an athlete, but they're on Sports Illustrated, they're on The Tonight Show, they're doing Saturday Night Live. That all came from the Hulk Hogan that, you know, we grew up watching. It is interesting, and we talked a little bit about this earlier, but is it safe to say you're a newer fan of wrestling?
Yeah, I would consider myself a newer fan.
And so your group of people that you watch it with are probably a little different than what we watched it with. So what were some of your initial takeaways of like the news when you heard about Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, so I would say you cannot deny what Hulk Hogan has done for this industry. As someone who loves wrestling and has now started working in the industry, you can't deny it. But I think you can mourn the legacy of Hulk Hogan while not agreeing with the person Terry Bollea. And I think that's where my generation that's their stance at this moment, and I think I align with that pretty solid,
Sure.
But you can't deny everything he has done for wrestling.
Sure, yeah. I mean, Jonathan, like you said, we grew up with this, right? So, like, growing up, this was pro wrestling. This was what made us fans. I remember as a kid watching Hogan vs. Warrior, and then even loving how, you know, Ultimate Warrior came into be after, you know, kind of replacing Hulk in a little bit. But no, man, it's the biggest thing I have is Wrestling Buddy, you know? The video games, I remember emotionally watching on TV Hulk Hogan where he was going to announce if he's retiring or not. And he's like, hell no, I'm not going to retire. And, like, it was so emotional as a kid. I was like, I thought my childhood was ending as a kid. Like, I thought this guy was retiring. It was like the biggest thing at the time. But like, that's it, man. Like, this is like, that's what made us interested in wrestling. Like, he was larger than life, and how they portrayed him back in the 80s, man, that's what made it. But like, as time goes on, I mean, you know, Jonathan, we are a little bit older. I feel like we're back in my day stories now on another wrestling podcast, but you know, the Hulkster got a little bit old. Maybe he said a few things he probably didn't want said, but at the end of the day, there's things that I've said I don't want to be open there that I was mad at the time, but nothing quite like that. But you know what I mean? Like, there's everybody kind of regrets saying something at one point in time in their life, and unfortunately, he's in the public spotlight, and there's no closing the door on that, right? Like, he can't just go to the shop right and go get some eggs. Like, everybody's going to stop him because he's Hulk Hogan, right? Unless you're wearing a disguise or whatever. But you know, I guess in his later years, you know, like, it's one of those things. He's getting older. Maybe not watching what he's saying or should say. I don't know.
Sure. I mean, I think, again, and to Paige's point, I think that it's important, you know, I think it's hard to, because you've looked up to somebody or you've watched them for so long, it's hard to, like, make that separation. It's almost like the show Severance, like the inside and the outside and all that stuff. So, like, if you were able to just, in a vacuum, look at Hulk Hogan and say, okay, what he did for the sport is undeniable, yeah, I don't really care for anything that he said outside of that. You know, if that was, but I think sometimes people can't do that, and I think that's where we're at. So, I mean, as a wrestling fan, I can honestly say that I had the Hulk Hogan workout kit as a kid. I can tell clearly I'm jacked.
Sticking to that, eating those vitamins, saying those prayers.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, I will say that probably the first time I saw him, and in a wrestling sense, it almost was like turning the TV from like black and white to color, just because he was that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And I remember growing up as a kid, and you would talk to people, and you'd say, "Oh, I watch wrestling" or whatever, and they'd say, "Oh, Hulk Hogan." Like they didn't know anything about wrestling, but they definitely knew Hulk Hogan. So I think it's, you know, for our generation, and then, you know, even for you, I think that there's been a few names that are synonymous with professional wrestling nowadays. I would say probably John Cena is the closest, or The Rock potentially. But yeah, I think that Hogan's impact is definitely going to outlive him. I think that maybe after some time goes by, people will be able to kind of maybe, because there's going to be stories that come out even after his passing that may be more positive than the ones that we saw. I mean, the fans, the last time we saw him, as crazy as it sounds, was when he was in Los Angeles and they booed him.
Yeah, and that was a Raw too. I didn't realize it. And like, it's like, at that time, I mean, what do you feel? Because I think you have different memories of Hulk Hogan too, because for us growing up, it was different. It was a part of our life every day. For you, you were probably growing up and like, you know, or heard who Hulk Hogan is. Can you tell us a little bit about that, to where, what do you have any memories of anything that stands out that like what he did? Because we kind of lived his whole life from just growing up in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I am kind of new to wrestling relatively. I didn't grow up in a wrestling family. I didn't have older brothers, no cousins. My dad didn't watch it. So I wasn't really around it growing up too much. But as I've gotten into wrestling, I have gone back and watched older matches and read up on history. And, you know, I think you can't deny, you know, the body slam heard around the world, like that brought such a wider audience to WWE. And I think that's like one of his monumental moments, his heel turn with the NWO. So I just kind of know the highlights, I feel like, because of my timeline with wrestling.
Sure,
but, yeah.
No, it's just because I'm trying to think back at time, because I remember being in high school and like going into high school and talking to my friends, being like, can you believe Hogan turned on, you know, like became the NWO? It was like, that was a big thing in school that I had to get to school. There was no Facebook or cell phones like that. Like, oh my God, I am doing the old man stories. I was back in my day.
I don't know, like, where you're from. Like, I had a cell phone. Like,
not like an iPhone. We had like pagers and we'd page each other. Anyway, I'm getting beside the point of what's the real factor here.
Well, let me ask you. Okay, so we're talking Hulk Hogan, all things Hulk Hogan. So what is your defining Hulk Hogan moment that if you had to explain everybody, hey, this is Hulk Hogan, what match, what promo, what would you show them?
Man, that's a deep question, because I mean, even going to like, okay, let's pick the movie universe. Like when I say like watch this Hulk Hogan movie, it would have to be like Suburban Commando.
Sure. Just
because it was a cool futuristic thing and it had Christopher Lloyd in it and it was Back to the Future time. Anyway, I like that.
Yep.
But then he did like Mr. Nanny, and I'm like, I don't know, I'll probably skip that one. But a lot of weird stuff. I can't think of the one thing that pops in my head though when you asked me that question was the commercial they did at the Super Bowl a few years ago, and it was like all the '80s characters storming the Radio Shack. It was like Alf, Hulk Hogan, the guys from Cheers. Well, anyway. It was hilarious, and I just remember that, like, when you picture Hulk Hogan, he's the wrestler. Even on Gremlins 2, where he, like, they stopped the movie, and he's like, listen, Gremlins, whatever. Things like that, man. Because, like, that's everybody, when you said professional wrestler, it was Hulk Hogan at the end of the day for, like, years and years and years, so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think that the heel turn, like the NWO, that, like, Bash to the Beach, that's really... I mean, that's the revitalization of his career. He was like going down. That's when people in WWF at the time were actually starting to boo him. They were really not a big fan of him, but they edited it out. I remember it was the match where I think it was like when Sid Justice was involved or whatever. I think it might have been the '92 Rumble when he pulled him out, and people were like cheering for Sid pulling him out. And
that's
like,
right,
it was starting to, you know, there's
only so much good guy you could be until like people got bored with it.
Yeah.
And the thing with WWE is that they didn't really know how to take a name like that and just make him bad.
No.
And for him to do that, that was like paradigm shifting in a way, because it was like you only know him as a good guy. Like that's why with like this whole John Cena heel turn this year, we could talk about it later, but like he's always been the good guy. Now we're gonna make him the bad guy. It wasn't quite the same effect on it, but still, man, I don't know. It's our Babe Ruth, right? It's the Babe Ruth of wrestling that has passed away, and I waited in March hours to meet him, for him to sign a beer case and get a photo, and his son Nick was there too to help him, and I was like, to me, I had to go meet like this icon of the 80s, even though I've met him twice before. I met him when I worked in the city at Foxx. I met him somewhere else years ago. I met him before we even knew each other, right? We were talking about this before.
So it was in Armonk, New York.
Was that an ice? No, what is it?
Last Licks
ice cream store, yeah.
And it was like a Steiner, like they would bring plus, in people, and I remember I said this off air or whatever, that I left work like on my lunch break to go down, and I was like super nervous that my boss would not let me go, and I was like, it's for Hulk Hogan, and they're like, okay, then fine, you can go. But we didn't know each other.
But then I think when we became either like Facebook friends, or how old do we go? Were we MySpace friends? I don't think so.
I'm not that old. Come on.
Top 8.
Social media. Exactly.
Were you on my
I don't know.
You would have been on my top 8, Jonathan. But anyway, no, it was funny because I was saying before, I didn't pay to meet him. I had to like bid on it. And it was like, I think I paid like 20, and then somebody outbid me. Then I did like 56. I think I got to $100. But whatever, it's Hulk Hogan. And I don't know, at the end of the day, like I stopped to always try to meet him when I could, just because he was such a big part of growing up, right? Like that was like my childhood on TV for pro wrestling. So sad day.
So sad day. R.I.P. Because he was Rip in
No Holds Barred. And that's what I should have said when he asked me that question before too. And I couldn't think of anything.
There's a lot of
except for Suburban Commando. He's probably on the spot.
Paige, based on like you being kind of a newer fan and all that stuff, who, I'm just curious, like who do you see potentially? Obviously, there's not going to be another Hulk Hogan, but who have you seen since you've been wrestling that you think like that's the person, like that's the guy?
I mean, I think John Cena is a safe answer. He's been that guy for a while now. I think Cody Rhodes is on his way up there. So yeah, those would be my top 2 right now.
Awesome.
No, yeah, it's hard to think about like the future like that, because this day and age is totally different from that day and age in a way. So, no, guys, I mean, we don't have to harp on it too, but if you have any good memories out there, leave your comments. Let us know if you have any Hulk Hogan memories, man. I think he was the first wrestler I dressed up as too on Halloween as a kid. I have like, it was just a plastic, when I was a kid, it was just a plastic mask and the original Hulk Hogan shirt I think I got from a wrestling show in Poughkeepsie when I was a kid.
Were you Winnie the Pooh in it?
No, I was Winnie the Poohing it.
Yeah, like the shirt, no pants.
Oh no, I had pants.
No, okay,
on.
all right. Well, you didn't say that. I was going to make sure.
I was like 8 years old, Jonathan.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know. I was young.
I was thinking of being Becky Lynch this year.
Oh, there you go.
I know.
And there's a perfect time, I think, to dress up.
Mischief Night, guys. ACW coming up. We talked a little bit about it. October 18th, guys. Mischief Night. Mischief Night is a big. It's a whole 80 theme now. But like as kids, like everybody wanted to go out on Mischief Night and do mischief things.
Yes,
I don't know, like what, but no. ACW October 18th. They're encouraging costumes there. So if you guys want to dress up, cosplay, as the kids say, or you can meet the Macho Man there. What would you? I don't know. I gotta think of something. No singlet though. I can't do that. So like Andre the Giant stuff. That's weird. It has to be like a T-shirt or something. But everybody's got to be a wrestler. October 18th. If we can get like all of Poughkeepsie to dress as like their favorite pro wrestler or just anything Halloween, that's going to be an awesome show.
Yes.
It's a Halloween
optics,
show.
I mean, alone, just to see the crowd, like all the people.
It's like watching Space Jam 2 and you're trying to figure out who's at the court side of...
If my eBay works. All right.
Why did you shake your phone at me?
Because I'm wanting to get the Seth Rollins, those red... Like,
oh my God, those stomper
that
shoes?
Would be, and then just dress
hilarious.
Ridiculously. And that's... So,
you could do
don't
Seth
be
Rollins.
surprised if I'm like...
We're holding you to it. You got a few months. I'm going to see this now.
See, my closet screams Rhea Ripley, but my hair screams Becky Lynch, so I'm pretty torn.
Yeah, that's a tough one for sure.
That's going to be fun. But guys, speaking of ACW.
Yes, that's what I was...
coming up, like I said, we're going to be on a little bit of a minor break next week. It's summer vacation, but ACW happening August 9th at Barton Orchards in Poquag, New York, guys. It's a little bit of a different show, a little bit of a different feel. It's not as big as the MGN Center, but it has its own unique look to it. I don't know if you guys have seen pictures of it yet, or if you've been there. It's the Soundgarden Arena, they're calling it. Have you guys ever gone to Barton Orchards before? Because I know you might be friends with another farm, but...
Yeah, I mean, I've been there, but not in this capacity. So I'm super excited. It's a very unique venue. When you think about wrestling, you think, arenas, you think about the Mid-Hudson Civic Center, the MJN Center, you think about Madison Square Garden, but you don't think Orchard until now. And I'm super excited. I know that this new edition, Paige, is going to be back there, backstage interviews, and I mean, what else do you have for us on that night?
Well, I was told I might be doing some ring announcing that night. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler, free here to hear first, right?
I'm going to be doing some backstage interviews. I'm looking forward to speaking to some people that I've spoken to in the past, some new people. Zack Clayton again, we have Vicious Vicki returning. I'm looking forward to it.
No, it'd be great. It's nice to see you before the show, and I think talking about what's coming up, what we can expect too. I guess some of what these fans could see, because I feel like this whole Uprising theme that ACW is doing is more like for like the future stars of pro wrestling, right? Like a lot of the more indie talent focused on, I guess, if you will, to like a bigger show like the MJN Center. But this is going to be a huge show on it alone, just for the venue. I feel like they could have their own unique thing going here at Barton Orchards. I think it'll be a nice little partnership they're doing.
Well, and I think that what we've talked about before is ACW is on the upswing. Obviously, I got to be at the last two shows. I was dying the first one, so I did not get to go to the Rumble, but I'm super excited to see what this one's going to be like. And I think, honestly, it's just because the roster is so stacked right now that there's not enough room for them on every show. So this is going to be a good chance to get out and see. I mean, there's huge names on this show already. And like the ticket prices, it starts at $15. Like you can't do anything for $15 now.
I know, man. It's a family-friendly venue. It's a great place to go. I've never gone to Barton Orchards before this, so this is gonna be like my first time hanging out there, seeing what's going on. And I can't believe it's another place that's like in our backyard and we can go to. And hopefully we could see more ACW shows here in the future. But guys, let's talk about some of the matches. Maybe some of these names we're gonna see, because it is Uprising, kind of the stars of the future. Let's talk about some of them. We have Ricky Pryce versus Buddy Tomas, I want to say, or it might be Tomas, but Buddy,
Thomas.
He's got an umbrella gimmick going. I think it's pretty crazy. But these two were fighting. The first time on the ACW. Have you guys heard or seen any of what they've been doing around here?
I'm going to defer to Paige on this. Are you aware of them at all?
I am, actually. Ricky Pryce actually just won the ISPW Lightweight Championship, I believe.
Yep, that's right.
He's doing some big things right now.
Okay.
The real question is, has he called her yet? Maybe we could find out at Uprising. And Buddy Tomas, he's been making some moves too. I'm excited to see him debut at ACW. They work really hard, and I think it's awesome they're getting this opportunity.
No, for sure. I mean, I've just seen them on socials. I haven't seen them up close in person. So, I mean, what a great way to start it for an ACW show and then see two newcomers.
And again, I think that we talk about this a lot, but to see these people their first time on the show, it's going to be kind of telling to see how hard they go to make sure that maybe the next time they're at Mystic Night, maybe they're at the next big ACW show. So I'm looking forward to it. I have honestly, I'm like you, I haven't seen him live. So do you have someone? Do you think that you could have a clear winner in this?
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't want them to get mad at me.
All right.
No, we'll see.
Tell us off air.
We won't tell them. No, but once again, I think what's good about this show is that we're going to see more kind of, I guess you could say, local independent stars and being showcased more. Yep.
I just want to say our next match, friend of the show, AJZ.
That's right.
Going against Yoscifer.
The Barbarian.
So we talked a little bit about this Barbarian versus Hunter. I mean, very on paper, this looks pretty crazy. And I have a feeling that AJZ is looking for, some vengeance, if you will, based on what happened to him at the last show.
Yeah, I spoke to AJZ after his match, actually, at Fallout, and his word coming into Uprising is dominance. He is going to assert dominance in the ring. So I think you might be onto something.
Okay.
No, and, every time I see AJZ, I have to be really nice, because the dude, I'm, afraid he's going to, he's going to kill me. He's a hunter, right? The dude could, destroy anybody. His entrance alone at Fallout was I'm afraid.
Yeah.
He's a scary guy, though. And then you put this Barbarian guy into the whole mix who's also making his ACW debut. I mean, if you're a first-time fan to pro wrestling and you're coming to this show with your children, this is going to be a match. I think these guys are going to definitely want to show who's the future of ACW, and what a way than a Barbarian versus a Hunter.
And we both shop at the same place to get our shorts, so that is really cool. AJZ and I.
The shorts are staying, he said.
I know.
They're staying.
You heard it. Heard it on the show.
No, for sure, man. But it's going to be a crazy match. I think, needless to say, something definitely to see, especially if you're new to pro wrestling in the area. Guys, we have Vicki Venuto, vicious Vicki Venuto.
Bad chick, if you will.
The bad chick, if you will, versus Rebecca J. Scott. Now, we're a little bit more familiar with Vicki. She's been at all the ACW shows so far. She had her chance against Indy Hartwell for the ACW Women's Championship last show. Came up short, but also she's not a stranger of Rebecca J. Scott, who was also in the six-pack challenge for that championship. Guys, do you have a favorite out of this, or bringing some women's wrestling to the area? What do you think about this for ACW?
I mean, I love any time we get to showcase the women wrestlers. That's always my favorite. And I got to go with my girl, Vicki. I mean, I love Rebecca. She's fantastic, but Vicki's been with us since the start, and she has been putting in the work lately.
No, for sure, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, just what little I've seen of it, I believe that she's a star. She's somebody. We talked about this with Richard Holiday, the airport test. You see Vicious Vicki and you think, okay, she could be on TV tomorrow or the next day or whatever. So I'm excited to see what Rebecca J. Scott is going to bring. And again, there's no better time to show off than at these events. And I'm hoping that it's a very competitive match. And you have, I mean, obviously a unique perspective, being a female wrestling fan, being involved in professional wrestling. I know we talked a little bit about you're a big fan of indie. Are there any others that are out there right now all over wrestling, whether it be WWE or AEW or independently? Who are some of your favorite women wrestlers right now?
Well, I mean, I do have to shout out my girl, Rhea Ripley.
There you go, Rhea.
She
Safe
is
bet.
one of my favorites. Nikki Bella is the first wrestler who got me into WWE because I actually found wrestling through Total Divas, and that was a TV show. So I have to shout out her. I think, Io Sky is doing amazing things in the ring. She's unparalleled in the ring. Yeah.
No, we'll have to bring up Total Divas later because I want to talk about some new show that WWE's doing. But continuing with women's wrestling, I think, Jonathan, we've been in the area for a long time. We've seen a lot of wrestling shows in the area.
Apparently 1,000 years. So.
And but not a lot of companies would showcase women's wrestling a lot as ACW is, and that's what I'm happy for. I'm a father of two girls, so I'm happy to see that they can have people to look up to kind of like this in the wrestling world. And ACW, had two women's matches on their last show. The six-pack challenge was huge enough. But going forward, it's nice that women's wrestling, I think, is just being showcased in our area too for everybody. So,
and I don't think that this is, you mentioned that Vicious Vicki, she came up a little short the last match, but I mean, I think that a win over Rebecca J. Scott puts her right back in the title hunt, and I mean, I think that's why she's going to be there.
Now, and if anybody has anything to prove, Vicious Vicki is definitely going to want to come up with a win after losing last show to Indy Hartwell. But I mean, I think she's going to be the one to beat out of this match, and she's going to be the one to prove to see that she's still on top of this women's division. So, there is one thing though.
Yes.
This tag match coming up, Crowbar and Kerr versus Foxx Vinyer, Firework. We got it coming up, and the Keith Youngblood. Yeah. The unrivaled Keith Youngblood. Guys, I mean, so we've seen the antics of Crowbar from the first show at the Poughkeepsie Rumble, but now teaming with Kerr, it's like bring a monster to work day, right? Like he's bringing, we saw what they could do. They came up short for the ACW Tag Team Championships last show, but that, once again, it was a hardcore, it was a Extreme Rules match. Sure. Which is crazy in itself, but then when you add Crowbar and Kerr to it, it's even crazier. But this is going to be one crazy tag team match, I think, for Barton. I don't know if this place can hold these men in the same building.
I was just going to ask, was it reinforced at this orchard? This is going to be crazy. But, I mean, a lot of I think the one thing that Crowbar brings to this match that is, just the most important thing, I think, is just his time in the business. He's forgot more about wrestling than some of these people, maybe even combined. But I also never want to count out friend of the show, Keith Youngblood. I definitely think that he's hungry. He's ready for something. It's not going to be fun for them, but I think this is a fun match, and I think that this is going to be one that we're probably going to be talking about, after this match. I am not envious of you because you have to get really close to these people sometimes. And is it intimidating to see some of these people like Kerr up close, or?
I would say sometimes. Okay. I think more so some of these wrestlers have an aura to them that just makes it feel like you shouldn't be in their presence, more so than like the size intimidation factor. Like Crowbar, he carries that aura with him everywhere he goes. But then you have Keith Youngblood, who's fantastic, and I love it when I get to chat with him. And I'm excited to see the firework Foxx Vinyer back in ACW. He was in the Rumble, and I'm excited to see him have a full match this time.
Sure.
No, yeah, and so you got like these monsters versus these rock stars, and it's great. I mean, I know we're a little bit before Mischief Night, but I think this is going to be one hell of a tag team match. I think if you guys have never seen tag team wrestling, if you're a kid coming out, it's family friendly, man. And you want to see some action, this is going to be a match not to miss. But a good friend of the show, and also one of the ACW founders, Hale Collins, will be in action versus the dastardly one, Danny Doring, man. Danny Doring had a little bit of a hard match last show.
Yeah.
Going against Parker Boudreaux, but needless to say, he is the vet of the business. He helped define an era of pro wrestling with ECW, but then we have the now in Hale Collins with the future of pro wrestling, and this is a good matchup. It's like the battle of errors, if you will.
And what do you think Danny's going to do after kind of being embarrassed in ACW? If you want to be honest, every time that we've seen him, it's not been on his terms. It's kind of been almost an afterthought, if you will. I don't think that this is going to be an easy night for Hale Collins.
No.
And if I had to just right now pick, I'm going to say Danny's it's now or never for Danny.
Sure, yeah.
I also think we're used to seeing Hale Collins with Vic as the now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how he goes about this on his own.
Yep. Yeah. No, for sure. Danny, man, he's a heat-seeking missile. I think Hale Collins said that today on social. This dude, man, he can piss you off. He knows what to say to piss you off.
Absolutely.
He's a heel's heel, right? He's a great bad guy in this world of pro wrestling, but man, he don't count him out though. The dude's in top shape of his life, probably the best shape of his entire career. So one not to sleep on though, but it's going to be interesting, this little battle of the eras, if you will, and like you just said, Paige, too. Having Hale fight on his own, if you will. He's used to tag team wrestling, but going on alone could be a disadvantage for him in this.
And just another beautiful segue. If you've ever thought about starting a podcast and you don't want to go it alone,
that's right.
Where can they go?
Well, guys, if you head over to beaconpodcasting.com, tell Sal from Beacon Podcasting, AWP sent you, you could be doing what we're doing. We're not just doing this alone. We got Anil backstage. He's running the show tonight. Sal from Beacon Podcasting, Anil and Beacon Podcasting, man. AWP would not be here without Beacon Podcasting.
Match made in heaven.
Paige, you can have your own very podcast too here one day.
I think people would love that.
It could be another Paige podcast or something, or well, you can name your own show. But I'm just going with what we got here. But guys, no, 100%, guys, because we can't do this by ourselves. So shout out to Beacon Podcasting.
And we just talked about Hale Collins.
Yeah.
And usually we're used to the now being the now, but on this night that's not happening. And a little preview to Mischief Night is going to be Vic versus Danny. I'm going to say I'm just really nervous about this match.
This should probably be the main event, because if it's not the main event, it's the show's I don't know if the buildings can hold these guys, let alone anybody else that night. And there's a lot of heated animosity, if you will, trying to use big words tonight between these two, because from the last show, the Now kind of got the revenge on them, knocking them out of the ring after their win over Crowbar and Kerr. But don't forget, 2 shows ago at Aftershock, they were handcuffed to a steel cage, and that's going to piss anybody off for the foreseeable future. Vic Dalishus is angry. Danny Maff is angry, and I think Danny Maff is going to want to stop Vic or try to hurt him. These guys are going to want to hurt each other so bad so that they can't make it to October, because in October, if these guys make it out alive, we're going to have a tag team championship match in a ladder match, the Now versus Sent to Slaughter. So this is like our our pit stop before that main event. But I don't know, Jonathan. Do you think are we going to make it out of this match? Because these guys are really heated.
You know, I'm not short on opinions, but I'm pleading the fifth on this because I don't want to say who I think's going to win because the other one's going to be listening, and yeah, so...
we won't give your address out. If you guys go to 1732... No, what's your...
let's keep going.
Paige, how do you feel, though? This is another match that's probably going to be a showstopper that night.
Yeah, I mean, going back to when they had the steel cage match at 2 shows ago, my jaw did not leave the floor once, I think, during that match. I was actually subbing for commentary for Josh Chernoff, and I was at a loss for words, which is not great when you're on commentary. So I am nervous but excited for this one.
No, it's like I said, if it could close the show, because I feel like if it doesn't close the show might get closed after this kind of a match. But no, it's going to be a heated battle, and I think, you know...
Who do you got?
I can't say it either, man, because I have to see these guys. And I don't need that same question when I do see them later on in the day. But no, they both have something to say. They both have, some revenge for the past few shows of what's happened. And, I just hope they both get out alive so we can make it to October. So
I think that, again, you brought it up, but I think this is implications. Somebody tweaks their ankle a little bit this match. Somebody gets targeted. They see a weakness and they go for that. Then, I mean, we're August now. October's not that far down the road. Yep. So I definitely think it's something that it's going to be on their mind. And to be honest, I think they're crazy for taking this match that quick before October.
I will say something that does worry me a little bit is Sean Donovan does not have a match this night. He's going to be fresh and ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. We got both of them now fighting that night, and you still have one fresh member. So that's another advantage for Sent to Slaughter at the end of the show. So
and no one's asked me yet. So as of right now, I'm not wrestling. So
he's ready to step up and lace the boots, folks. If you need him on standby, we'll have you ready at ringside. One name, though, I have to talk about with this match coming up, and it's kind of a standout for me, to where Zack Clayton is going against Justin Corino and Joe Ocasio. Joe Ocasio, we saw at the Rumble. He was in the Rumble and had some other antics going on that night. Justin Corino has taken his first steps in ACW that night. But Zack Clayton, man, it's kind of something going on with Tommy Dreamer on the outside. He's kind of been a thorn in his side. But, man, what a superstar this guy is. He walks the walk, he talks the talk. You slap a championship on him. This guy is a made wrestling superstar, and I think nothing but the best is in his future with him. But that's not counting out Justin Corino or Joe Ocasio, two awesome opponents in this whole triple threat match. Are you guys familiar with any of them, or you have any favorites?
I mean, Zack Clayton did throw a water bottle on me at our last show, so him and I have a little bit of
got some heat with Paige, Zack. So we're gonna have to get this answered at the next show. But now, what about the other guys? Are you familiar with any of them?
I mean, Joe, I remember him from the Rumble. He was great, and Justin, I'm excited to see his debut.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that also we can't count out anybody because on any night anybody can win. But ultimately, I think that Zack Clayton, pardon the pun, is probably the sure thing. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Yeah.
Those laughs weren't piped in; those were actual honest.
Yes,
those were honest laughs.
Yeah.
No, man, but no. This is. I think all these guys are equal in wrestling abilities, stature, or whatever you want to say with this. I think it's going to be a great triple threat. All these guys have something to prove. This is, I think of this kind of a match as almost like a number one contender match. Zack did come up short at the last show for the national championship against Real One.
That wasn't his fault, though.
Exactly. So, but there's hijinks in it too. So it's not just unless you have something different.
No,
to say.
I was just going to say. I mean, we're still pretty close to where I think old Tommy Dreamer.
He's right down the road. He's younger. Yeah, he's not too far from here, right?
Is he still got a little beef with Zack? I don't know.
Oh, I don't think that's ending anytime soon.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So.
Without the end at the end of the day, though, I mean, all these guys, I think they're all evenly matched. It's another crazy match for Barton Orchards. I mean, if you guys haven't been to a show, this is gonna be a little bit of the different show. So if you're used to coming to ACW at the MJN Center, this has its own little intimate setting, if you will, right? So it's something to look forward to. Another triple threat. What else we got in these matches? I think the championship match, the national championship match.
Yeah.
Leo Sparrow, man. So Leo, man, surprised he wasn't booked the last show, but Carlito had an open challenge. Brian Myers from TNA answered it, But then also Leo Sparrow decided maybe he just was that 5 minutes too late out the door. Like he inserted himself into this match too, making it a triple threat at the last show. But now he's going up for the national championship against the real one. What do we think about this, guys? Could Leo Sparrow walk out as the new national champion? And is he going to make the nation go vegan? I don't know. Is it going to be a green belt? This is all I'm thinking about. Well, if he wins, is it all be all like a leaf belt, like a Daniel Bryan, like eco-friendly? Like I could see that happening one day. But what do you think? He could be the new national champion in a few weeks.
Well, he could. I could too. Or, but I think that obviously there's a veteran there, real one. I can't see it happening. I'm not saying that it couldn't, but I feel like how have you all heard that there's an alien ship that's coming?
Yes,
in November. I feel like if that happens,
that one,
and if that happens, and we all there'll be cockroaches, rats, and Leo Sparrow left. That's my honest opinion. So
right.
I can't count him out. I think the guy's got talent. I think that he. The reason why we're talking about him and the reason why he's in this match is because he's talented. But I just don't think he can, match with the smack talker Skywalker. I really just don't think it's going to happen.
I will say, Leo was talking some serious smack at Fallout. He had some choice words for Brian Myers and Carlito.
That is true.
He could talk to talk,
and lots of spinach.
And lots of spinach. Yeah, I mean, if you're in need of a salad that night, get a bowl ready. But no, man, he's definitely a unique wrestler. I think don't cut him short though for this Leo versus real one. I think it's a great evenly kind of a match. I mean, you got one guy who's a little bit of a vet, one guy kind of coming into his own. No stranger though to ACW, but I think this is a good national championship match, something to be showcased at Barton Orchards. I think getting the national championship getting its own time to shine on its own, if you will, compared to the other championships from ACW. So I think it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about it a lot. I really just think that this venue is something different. Over the past couple of years, we've seen some unique things, a lot of outdoor arenas. Like when we were watching, like Wembley was a big deal because it was outside. And then we've been to different arenas and stadiums and stuff. But I think that this is like just another cool offering from ACW. You guys are both kind of plugged in, so you know about how it all works. But I think that that's cool. It's a new place that people can go to. Tickets again. This is ACW.com. $15. Like that's you have kids. Like
that's it. Family friendly. Yeah, man. You got nothing else going on. I brought up the page. So if you go to thisisacw.com and you click on the get the tickets, it goes to simpletix.com because I know the tickets are getting sold through Barton Orchards, but they have a little description. I want to read the description for you guys. It's a good description. That's why. ACW Uprising brings you a different side of awesome championship wrestling. It says join us on August 9th at the Soundgarden Arena at Barton Orchards in Poquay, New York, perfectly situated between Poughkeepsie, New York and Danbury, Connecticut, with easy access from everywhere and just minutes off the Taconic Parkway. That's one big thing. Growing up as wrestling fans in this area, we're either going to Connecticut or we're going over here. So you're like right in the middle of that. It's the best of both worlds for any of the Connecticut fans or Massachusetts fans coming out there. But it also says get up close to the action in this intimate setting, where you'll see the ACW National Championship champion, real one, Crowbar, Vicious Vicki, Vic Dalishus again, and many other your favorite stars. Plus, discover the rising stars of ACW, including Justin Corino, Yoscifer, AJZ, Foxx, Vinyer, Keith, Youngblood, and others you'll soon be talking about. You'll also be able to enjoy ACW's special This Is Awesome beer. I got 2 cans left. I got to bring it in. From Aspire Brewery, which is pretty good. I'm not a big beer drinker, so I hate when everybody's got I got the whatever, the crafted beer. I'm like, I don't care. I like ACW beer, man. It's great. Even if you're not a big beer fan, it's pretty good. That's my short plug for it. I don't have any good plugs with it. But they're saying it's the same high-energy wrestling you know and love. It's now in a venue that brings you closer to the excitement than ever before with easy access, prime location, unforgettable matches. Uprising is going to be a must-see event of the summer. There's also standing room-only tickets. So, you can go to the event. I think it's half. I'm going to say a barn. But when I say barn, it's like a big the venue is like a barn. You take a slice out of the barn, and then you could sit outside. You could stand around. It's not not just like you have to be seated the whole time. So it's a
Listen,
little different
you sold
aspect.
me. I just bought my tickets. So
I'm on this because I'm trying. I was reading it, but no. If you guys head on over, this is ACW. You'll see it. I know we're hyped for the event. Paige, you have anything to say about this? Because I know I was just reading the site and trying to hype it from that, but.
Yeah, I mean, I am very excited to be in this new venue. I love interacting with the fans. I get to go around during the fan fest and talk to some of our young and new fans, and I'm excited to be able to do that in a more intimate setting.
Awesome.
Well, I ACW aside, there's a lot of wrestling out there. This weekend is the beginning of the craziness that is descending upon New Jersey SummerSlam. 2 nights.
2 nights of SummerSlam.
First time this has ever happened. First of all, are either of you going?
I wish.
Okay. I wish. No, yeah, I'm going on vacation this weekend, so I have to balance going to the Jersey Shore while watching just SummerSlam right up the street.
By, just wave.
That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's going on.
So, but you all will be watching.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right. So, a lot of big matches to talk about. Some of the biggest names. One that that's really still sticking in my head, and I know we haven't really talked about it a lot, but they've really been doing a lot with the Orton and Jelly Roll versus, and I can't believe I'm even saying this out loud, versus Drew and Logan Paul. So, we talk about this kind of era with Hogan and the celebrity and all that stuff, and I think that this is another proof that this is, Hogan's impact. But what are your thoughts on when you mix these people outside of wrestling with the wrestlers? We know that Logan Paul can do it at a very high level. What are your expectations of Jelly Roll this weekend?
Well, I mean, if you ask me about Jelly Roll of 2022, I'd probably, I don't know, maybe the dude's lost a lot of weight though. He looks in really good shape. But I think most importantly, what I like about it is that he's a fan. Mm-hmm. Logan Paul, hate him, love him, whatever. He's dedicated to what he's doing, and when he's, you can't say that he's not a good wrestler. I don't know what Jelly Roll it doesn't roll off the. Yeah. I don't know if Jelly Roll plans on doing this for a long time, but I mean he's having fun. It looks like he's having a great time doing it, and he's a huge name. I think this is the kind of names that they want for people to be getting fans from the outside. Because I mean, if you're a fan of Jelly Roll and you're buying his songs and whatnot, and you hear, hey, he's going to be wrestling in whatever, what? And you're going to tune into that. And now as a non-wrestling fan, that's exactly what they want. They want you to tune in. And for somebody who might love it, and as much as he is, I think it's a good time. He's not just there for the money. He's there because he actually wants to be there, kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, going off what you just said, my dad does not watch wrestling. I told him Jelly Roll is wrestling. He's going to be watching that match.
See? Yeah.
I brought him to see Jelly Roll last year. We got to hang out in the sound booth area. My friend works on the tour.
Yeah.
And he's a big fan. So I told him, he's like, oh, what time is it on? I'm going to be watching.
That's
Absolutely.
Awesome. That's exactly what they want.
But as far as celebrity matches go, I love this. I'm not mad about it. My only gripe might be that I'm a Randy Orton girl till I die, and the fact that he's not in a bigger storyline irks me a little bit. But I think this is going to be really fun to watch. Jelly Roll respects the industry. He respects the craft. He's been down in Florida training. So I think we're going to have another, maybe not Logan Paul's athleticism, but his dedication and respect for the industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly what I say, because it's for her dad, that's exactly what they want. They want you to, whoever his fans are, to kind of tune in and see what's going on. And once they kind of get you in and watching it, they get you hooked, right? And they become a wrestling fan. And then that's what we're doing with Sal Beacon Podcasting. He hasn't watched, just because of the show, we're getting more involved with wrestling. But, I think the biggest thing for me outside of that, too, I think is the whole Cena thing, because I feel like this is the halfway point. He's got 15 dates or whatever it is. It's dwindling down. And for me, I feel like this has to be the turning point. He either loses the championship this weekend, or you can't just do it tomorrow or the next day at Raw. This is the spot to do it at. So whatever they have going on with this whole Cody match, and it's a street fight, and he didn't want to be in the match, and he's in the match. I feel like there's a lot of shenanigans going to go on, but I don't know if people say that anymore. But
they don't.
I didn't know what to say. It was my go-to word. But no, for this, I feel like this is the big thing to watch. And I don't know. I think I'd be disappointed if something big didn't happen in this match. It can't just be Cena wins and we're going to go on to the next. No, something has to happen. And I feel like people are talking about a double turn. Could we see a thing where Cena goes back to face? Maybe Cody goes to the dark side? That'd be cool. I don't know. What do you guys? I think this, for me, though, this is the make or break for this whole Cena heel turn.
Yeah, I mean, I love a good heel turn. I just don't think we're there yet with Cody Rhodes. He is the face of the company, but I do think we're going to keep seeing those little hints at the heel tendencies he's been showing. Maybe less hesitation when he's going to do some of those things. I also did see an interesting conspiracy today on the internet. Have Cena lose the title, have AJ Styles beat Dominic for the Intercontinental Championship, and then have Cena and AJ Styles run it back so Cena can become a Grand Slam champion.
Ooh, that's another good idea.
Yeah.
I love Dominic Mysterio and don't want anyone taking the title off of him yet, but I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. That's the thing to think about is like all these other options that could happen, especially for his farewell tour. Give us another big kind of farewell match, right? So it has to lead into something.
We're also forgetting, in a sense, that Rollins is somewhere in this picture.
Yep.
I'm not saying he's coming after Cena. I'm just saying that there is an opportunity there.
Because it's like, was he really injured, or is this make it more of a surprise? Because as a wrestling fan, you can't take anything as the truth anymore. Like it's like, oh yeah, he's injured. Meanwhile, or he could be really injured, and we don't know.
But also, even if he is injured, he has the Bronze who can do all the dirty work for him. He just has to lay on top of somebody.
Exactly,
so
that's
really,
true. That is
anything
true.
is possible. But
I didn't think about that either.
And I think I would love if night one it's Punk Gunther, right? And Rollins' music hits, and you get a tease. Punk loses because of that tease, right? Gunther beats him. And then you forget about it, and you're thinking, oh, he's going to cash in later on Gunther or whatever. But then the next night, you hear his music, and he comes out, and he cashes in. I mean, this
is all great. What ifs? I love it. This is exactly what's fun about being a wrestling fan, because at this point, we're so conditioned to like, oh, it's got to be something, and we all have great ideas. And it's something to think about. But you did mention Punk, though. They did start the show. We could talk about it later if we need, but this Unreal thing that's happening on Netflix, and I think it all started here too. People were saying that they had Punk versus Gunther on the board in the back, like planning the matches for the future, and that was supposed to be like a WrestleMania match. Now it's happening at SummerSlam. Regardless, to me, it's got to be the summer of Punk again. I feel like he's been back in the WWE for almost 2 years now. Isn't that crazy to say? It feels like a month or something, right? But almost 2 years. When he came in, I feel like if they would have gave him the championship right away, people would have been like, oh, whatever. Yeah. He's hung around. He's proven his worth. He's shown that he's still a name people want to see, people want to hear. And I feel like you got to capitalize on it. And to me, this is another thing for this weekend that I want to happen is that I want to see another CM Punk championship reign. It's been over 10 years since he's held the championship. So I think it needs it. I think just to show him how much he's worth to that company, especially at his age now, give it to him, man. I want to see that. But like Gunther too, to me, it's like he doesn't need to hold the championship anymore. Like he's been one of the greatest world champions ever. But even if he doesn't need the belt anymore, he doesn't need the championship anymore. Like even if he loses, he's still on top of. He's still. There's nothing outside of that. So I don't know if you guys have the same feelings on that. But to me, I need CM Punk. I feel like I need him to win too this weekend. I don't know.
Yeah, here's what I want to happen. I want Punk to win. I want everyone to think Seth's going to cash in. He doesn't. I want this to turn into a feud between Punk and Roman Reigns down the line, and then we get Seth cashing in on a Punk and Reigns title match.
That's another good option, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that like, who does Seth hate more? Does he hate Roman more? Does he hate Punk more? And I agree. I think Punk, I mean, I hate to say like, oh, he deserves it or whatever, but Punk's, been an MVP player. So is, most of the roster, honestly, throughout this. But I think that Gunther is one of those people that it's good. Like, I don't want to say he's like a transitional champion, but he got Jay over. I think that now's the time that Punk wins, and then you have Punk going into the back half of the year as champion, and then he can lose it at Rumble, he can lose it at Mania or whatever. But, yeah. But just real quick, because I know that there's a couple other, there's two really, well, there's a lot of women's matches, but there's two that I wanted to talk about, which is Naomi versus your girl Rhea and Io. So this is something that we've talked about before. Triple threat matches to a promotion sometimes are because they're afraid that the match isn't going to do well on its own, like a Io versus Naomi or whatever. But that is definitely not the case anymore. And I remember, again, I'm not 1,000 years old, but I remember that people used to say, like, when the women's matches would be, it's like, oh, I'm going to get up and go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
That is not happening anymore.
No.
Like, these matches are obviously incredible.
Must see. Yep.
People are going to see these matches, and specifically these matches, and guy, gal, it doesn't matter. So I think this match, Naomi is killing it right now. I mean, just absolutely killing it. So I'm interested in what you both think about this match because, I mean, arguably the top 3 in the world right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the match I'm most excited for this weekend. I would love for it to main event. Unfortunately, it'll probably open one of the nights or Sunday, right? Yeah. Rhea versus Io at Evolution, I think, was one of the best careers of both their matches. I was on the edge of my couch the entire time. I couldn't barely hold my breath. Like, incredible. And then Naomi, going back to Total Divas, I remember when she was on the show, they tried to turn her heel and she just could not do it. So seeing her crush this heel turn, I'm obsessed. I'm really excited for this one. And as much as I hate to say it, I do think Naomi's going to retain because I think it's going to play into another women's match that's going on with Tiffany and Jade. And I think we'll see Jade and Naomi at Crown Jewel for the Crown Jewel champion. No,
I agree 100% with what you said, but I also have to say, for me, I think it's like Rhea's done a lot of good this year to where she's kind of taken a back seat. She's helped elevate Io Sky to make her more of a credible champion this year. You know, last year at this time, was it last year where she main evented the Perth show? Mm-hmm. She had her own main event for the Australian show, and Rhea's at the level to where she doesn't need a championship anymore. But at the same time, I think she's also a huge name for them to, like, I would put that championship back on her. I feel like she deserves it for the kind of year she's kind of helped build the women's division. Naomi, great job. You know, I always loved Naomi. Even when they got rid of her, I'm like, oh, she was like one of the most athletic girls women that they had. For nobody else was doing the kind of stuff that she was doing. So I'm glad she's kind of found a little bit of a groove with what she's doing. So I'm happy to see that because, like, it just goes to show when you actually let these wrestlers do, like, shine a spotlight on what they're doing and give them the time to shine, they'll shine. So I'm glad to see her actually shining a little bit in this. And like Io, you know, even though there's a language barrier, you know, she's been still being able to hold her own. She could speak in the ring. She doesn't need to cut promos all the time, right? Like, I feel like she's been doing incredible in the ring. She's one of the most incredible talented wrestlers that WWE has and have had. But I think at the end of the day, for me, Rhea's kind of really helped elevate all these women all year. And I would love to see her with the championship back for a little bit. And even if that does help elevate maybe like Jade down the line, if you will, because, you know, they got a lot invested with her too, especially becoming the women's the queen of the ring. I was gonna say the new queen of the ring, if you will. So, you know, there's still a lot of things going on with this women's division, but, you know, once again, they're not bathroom breaks anymore. Even though there's some other matches that could be that, but like these matches, especially this women's match, is definitely one to see.
And as you mentioned, we have Tiffany versus Jade. A lot of hate for Jade out there. Some people think that she got pushed too soon and all that. But, I mean, the way I see it is if you look at someone and you can see improvements, even small, big, whatever, like I'm a big fan of Jade just because of that. Like, I see her putting in the work. I listened to one of the, like, Cody, I think the latest Cody Rhodes podcast where it was Cody and Ricky Saints, and they were talking about how, like, he trains with her and all that, and I think it's just great. But this is going to be interesting because Tiffany, not necessarily new at this point, like, we've seen her for a while, but still new enough that these two are, like, what we're seeing is the future, you know?
Yep. And
I think that we saw a pretty good showing with Jade and Asuka at the Queen of the Ring. So, you know, I'm for seeing what happens when the lights are on bright. And so this is a big match. It's a telling match. And I don't know what's going to happen. And I think that's obviously exciting as well. But, you know, there could be some shenanigans, as you said. And we could see a new champion or not. I don't know. I think it probably isn't they're not gonna drop it yet, but what are your thoughts on that?
I could see going either way. I love Tiffany. I think she's great. I just think her current title reign's been a little lackluster compared to her first one. You know, Jade, she might not be the best in-ring talent, but she does, you know, being a pro wrestler, there's more to it. It's a total package. And I think she does have the look going for her. I think she can cut a good promo. Her storyline with Naomi and Bianca was going somewhere. I hope they bring it back to that. So I'm a little torn on where that's going to go. I'm going to say I think they're going to go to Jade. I think they're going to shock us on Saturday.
Yeah, I could definitely see it going that way. You know, they always say it's like 10,000 hours. You got to do 10,000 hours to master something, right? So for Jade, you know, she didn't come into she's jacked as it is, and she didn't do that from wrestling for years. She did it another way. But a lot of these women out there today is that they've been wrestling for a lot longer than she has. So it's like it's easy to maybe point out some mistakes here and there, if you will. But I mean, if she's keeping out, she's a superstar, and WWE is showing her that she's a superstar because the way she came over from AEW, they put her in the spotlight. They put her in all these big matches. They're showcasing her. She's the queen of the ring. She's having a big match at SummerSlam. You know, I think they're doing right by her, but it's like giving it to us in microdoses, if you will, without just throwing it all at us all at once. And it's good for her. I think, you know, if she keeps it up, she's going to be a megastar. She's just got to keep at it, right? Keep working those 10,000 hours, become even more of a pro.
Well, and talking about that, it's a little bit of breaking news, but did you all see, speaking of ACW and all that Big Trouble, Ben Bishop, have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
6'12", yeah.
He got a WWE tryout.
That's awesome.
I didn't see that.
I mean, this is what, I mean, again, not to go back to that, but it's interesting, the ebb and flow of professional wrestling. We've seen it where guys and gals will be in a gymnasium one day and the next day they're on TV, or vice versa. They finish their career or maybe get released or whatever. But I just think it's a testament that, like, these shows that we're watching, the SummerSlams and even the Uprisings, you just never know. And that's why, again, more than anything, I tell people they love one company or whatever, but I say go out and just watch what you like and like give something else a chance. So I'm excited for just a lot of wrestling coming up. We have SummerSlam this weekend. Be sure to let us know if you go out and see the show. We'd love to hear from you whenever we get back off of break. And again,
not together,
breaks,
separate vacations.
But yeah, and I'm excited for. I'm not even a part of ACW, but I'm so jacked for this October show as well. I have to just say, we have Vampiro, which is a huge freaking deal.
First time in Poughkeepsie, yeah.
Huge deal. And then that Fatal 4-Way that we're talking about here.
It's going down as arguably the biggest independent wrestling match of the year. So, or maybe, who knows, it could be the decade, depending how great it is, right? So it's something that nobody else is doing.
No.
Except for ACW. And this is going to be their fifth show, or what are we at? I don't know. We're at the third, the fourth, the fifth by then. So what a year for ACW. We're not even at the end of the year yet. But to see it in this setting, I think up close and personal, and that's, we've gone to many wrestling shows over the years, and we've seen people shine on that show and then make it big later on. And that's what's great about it, to where you're getting pretty much like a WWE show as if you were going to a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or whatever, but like right in your own backyard. Family friendly, cheap, affordable for everybody, and it's right down the street, man. You never know who you're going to see in the future of wrestling, especially at any of these shows, and it's so close to home for us in our area.
I mean, I'm sold on these next two shows. I'm super excited. I will see both of you at both of them. I'll see you at Uprising, and then I will see you at Mischief Night. Just if it's not flattering to him, that's okay. But it's your first time in the studio, so what are your takeaways from today so far?
Oh, it's been great. I'm having a blast. I am up past my bedtime. I do get up at 4 a.m. every day. But other than that, this has been great. You guys have been fantastic hosts.
Yeah, Paige, where can fans follow you if they're trying to watch you or ACW?
Hold on. No, we don't need any fans following her. Okay, there's some issues with that. But do you have social media?
I do.
Okay, all right.
Good to be clear.
I am on Instagram at paige.pomz.
All right, Paige.
You can find me tagged on ACW's Instagram if that's easier. But yeah, you can find me on there.
No, great time, guys. We'll hope we'll have you back here soon down the line. We're gonna go on summer break
too, but it's fine.
Well, it's all right.
No, it's fine.
Okay, Jonathan, we'll see.
No, I'm fine. It's fine. We're all fine.
Next show, we'll come back from summer break. We'll figure out our social media.
Sure.
You can follow us, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We gotta get a little summer break before we come back, but we got a lot of wrestling to watch until then. So we'll see you soon on another wrestling podcast, guys. All right.